I'm going to be doing a whole series on stress. Now, I do another show called The Business View, and you can also listen to that in the Amazing Women of Power Radio Network. And it's got 4 different women, all focused specifically on different areas of small business. My particular expertise, as my listeners know so very well, you, my listeners, sitting out there in your car, in your office chair, know so well that the thing that I focus on specifically is the management of your business. And how is that going? So, the topic that we had that I thought was just such a rich topic, and I wanted to cover even more, so I'm hijacking it for my show so that you guys can hear my thoughts on this and my hopefully some helpful hints, some actual implementable tactics or strategies so that you can deal specifically with stress. Dealing with the feelings of urgency or stress associated with being a business owner. That topic is so huge. The feelings of urgency or stress associated with being a business owner. Do you, as a small business owner, do you experience feelings of urgency? Or maybe some feelings of stress once in a while? I do. I'm a small business owner, and I've been doing this for a long frickin' time. Let's see. I've been doing this for over 15 years. Small business ownership. And I still, to this day, am real aware of managing my sense of stress, my sense of urgency. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about stress. Stress is things like feeling anxious. Stress is things like not sleeping well. Stress is things like snapping at your employees or your family or your loved ones. Stress is, I don't know, maybe every once in a great while letting off a good scream in the car. Right? I mean, we all are familiar with the experience of stress in our world and in our life. That is not unfamiliar to us. The question is dealing with that stress associated with being a small business owner. So first, let's just start with stress is just an indicator. The question is, what's causing it? So stress is an indicator. It's not a resolution unto itself. It's not a problem-solving tool, although I might address that in another show later on this month. It's not a problem-solving tool. It is an indicator. It's an indicator that something is off course. Something is occurring in your business life, either in the business itself or inside of you, that is off course. Okay, so let's talk a little bit specifically about stress in your business life. So, business can be doing really well or business can be doing poorly, but either way, you can have a high sense of stress. Now, here's one of my favorite examples of a client who was experiencing a very high level of stress and how it occurred for them. They called me on a weekend going, "Oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. I am so stressed. I've just had this conversation with a client, actually, no, it wasn't a client. I just had a conversation with a business partner. There's no longer their business partner at this time, but I just had a conversation with my business partner, and their feedback from me was that it was just going so poorly, and I'm just so tired of receiving this feedback. Maybe I should really just close the business down." Now, I have had enough, and I remember this conversation because it actually started inside a bathroom. I got the phone call when I was washing my hands in the bathroom. So it was really memorable for me to start this conversation, to listen to this client who clearly was in a high level of stress at the time of the conversation. Have you been that person? Have you just felt like, oh my gosh, I'm pulling my hair out. I don't know what I'm doing. I should just shut the business down, right? I mean, have you had those moments? So my client was having that moment, gave me a phone call. I, thank goodness, had the time to sit and talk with that person. I was able to say, I understand the conversation you just had with your business partner, but let's reflect for a minute on the business, not on the feelings of stress, not on the feelings of being cornered in the conversation, but actually on the feelings of the indicators or the actuality of your business. The actuality of her business, this was my client's business, was that she had been growing for 2 solid years. Every month, the business was on a financial upswing, a clear, distinct, trackable financial upswing. The business was not failing. Financially, the business was sound. The business was growing. So what was her stress? Her stress was that the back end in her business, the office level, couldn't handle the business that was coming at her, the amount of clients that she was garnering, that she and her business partner were garnering. It couldn't handle it. And so the business partner, the feedback from her business partner specifically was, well, you're failing because you're not handling the back office. But she wasn't failing. She was meeting with every single client every time she needed to. She was bringing the income into the company. She wasn't always able to follow through on the servicing of those clients, billing them on time. She wasn't able always to follow through on the clear communication with her business partner. So the problem was, and the stress was, not inside of the financial aspect of her business. The problem was in the back office. So that type of stress can actually be a good version, as in you're stressed, but it's for a good reason. Your business is growing so much, you need to upgrade your back office. Hoo-hoo! That is fantastic. That type of stress can be handled. It's handled through delegating systems. It's handled through hiring a new accountant to do the billing for you. It's handled through being able to fine-tune or streamline your back office. But the feeling that she should close her business and that she was a personal failure, that's where the feelings can be mistaken. She wasn't a personal failure. She was performing well in her business, her capacity to implement her business. Her business needed more support than what she could give it. That is not a personal failure. It is that the business had grown bigger than what she could do in her time and her efforts. Have you been there? Have you had that experience where you go, oh my gosh, my business is clearly failing. It must be failing. I feel all of these feelings of stress inside of me. I must be a failure. Maybe I need to just shut my business down. But financially, your business is sound. Your income is greater than your expenses. You're taking money home every month to you and your family. You're meeting with every client and actually having a successful progress in growing your business, but you're highly stressed anyway. Now, so far I've just talked about positive stress. I've given one distinct example of how your business could actually be doing well and that you're highly stressed because your back office can't handle the growth in your business. That, I would say, is a good version of stress. Now let's talk about, well, then that's good, but how do I distinguish out what stress is? I'm just stressed. Stress is just an indicator. How do I distinguish out, well, what's useful to me? What's accurate information? I mean, how do I find another way to say this? All right, let me try it this way. You're a small business owner, right? That's why you listen to this show. It's because you're a small business owner or you want to be a small business owner. You're a small business owner. You're experiencing stress. Why are you experiencing stress? My example previously talked about how the small business owner, this client I had that called me, was experiencing stress because her partner was putting stress on her, but her business, ultimately the stress was from her business performing well. She felt like she needed to close the business. It was obviously vital for her to distinguish what was the cause of the stress for her and her business, because if she simply followed the feeling of stress, she would have closed her business. Because her sense of personal failure was creating that feedback for her that she should close her business. So how do you, as a small business owner, distinguish out your stress? Let's talk about how to distinguish out your stress. First place, and the first place I almost always go to is the bottom line. Remember, in my example with this small business owner, with my client, the first feedback I had for her was because I knew the answer because she was a recurring client, was, is your business financially sound? Okay, now let's talk about that for a minute. How do you know if your business is financially sound? That actually can be difficult. I mean, I've had small business owners who came to me and said, my business must be failing. Well, gee, that's fascinating to me. So tell me more. My business has been open for 8 years. Oh, okay. Do you have any long-term debt associated with your business? No, I don't have any long-term debt. Every month I'm capable of paying off all the debt my business accumulates. Okay. Right there, your business is not financially failing. I don't even need to look at your books. for me to know the answer to those two questions are you have stayed in business for 8 years and you're able to keep your doors open without accumulating debt that travels longer than a month. Your business is not financially failing. Bottom line, it's not financially failing. So let's talk, we're distinguishing out stress, right? The first place you look is your bottom line. If you can say that my business is not accumulating debt longer than at a period of a month at a time, then your business is actually cash flowing. Now, the next question becomes, okay, so the business itself, its income and expenses are cash flowing. The next question is, are you bringing money home from your business? If you're not bringing money home from your business, then your income and expenses are working fine on the business level. Is the business meeting its income and expenses? It is, but it's a self-generating entity that's not feeding you, the small business owner. It's not a very useful business model. I'm not trying to judge. I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business. What I'm telling you is that it ends up not being a very useful business model when you don't get to take any revenue home from it. You don't get to experience the sense of joy, financial reward for your business. I mean, internal reward is fantastic. Internal rewards are great because that's part of what makes our dedication to our business so strong. It's part of what makes our business feel so completely fulfilling to us, is the personal emotional reward or the sense of contributing to somebody else or the sense of contributing to something on the face of the planet, right? We want to have those senses of contributing. But if you do not receive a financial result from running your business, you can't take money home every month, your sense of self-competency will start to deteriorate. Your sense of pride in your accomplishments might start to deteriorate. Your sense of expertise in the field might actually start to deteriorate. So small businesses is by stress in the business. I'm just tracking the trail here for a minute. Stress in the business creates a feeling of not doing well, or stress in you creates a feeling of not doing well. How do we distinguish out the stress? First place I tell you to look is your bottom line. If your business is not carrying debt over longer than a month, then your business unto itself is not actually financially in crisis. But if you're not bringing home a paycheck, you might be in crisis in relationship to that business. We want to bring home a paycheck. Otherwise, it's not a business, right? You've heard people say this all the time. Maybe then you relate to it not as a business. You relate to it as a hobby or as a volunteer effort. I don't have a problem if that's what you want to do. But if you're going to label it a business, then you might want to be able to bring money home from it. If it's not going to bring you money home, then it might just want to be placed as a volunteer effort inside of your mind, inside of your life. Or you're dedicated to it bringing money home to you. Totally fine. I don't care where you are with it. Just be honest with yourself about what it is and what your relationship to it is. Okay, so stress is an indicator. Business, let's say the business itself is doing well and you are bringing money home from it. What other stresses do you have? Okay, I checked on the financial front with the business. Bottom line is fine. I'm bringing home money with it. Okay, great. Now, is it maybe the stress is, let's see. Let's go back for a minute. Why would a business not be doing well? You might have a high level of income and a high level of expenses. You might have a low level of income and a high level of expenses. It's very simple. It's a very simple mathematic problem. Your expenses are higher than your income or your expenses are less than your income. You can fix that. You just need to identify that. You can fix it. You need to identify it. Okay, another place that stress can be experienced as an indicator of something failing inside of the business itself is that you could have a business that's functioning financially, but systemically it's having a problem. There's a stall in the system. This is my client who called me when I was washing my hands in the bathroom, right? There's a stall in the system. There's a block in the system. She's servicing her clients well, but as far as giving them the appointment time, but she's not doing any of the follow-up behind on the back end as far as servicing them. Okay, maybe she's not doing any of her accounting properly. She's not billing in a thorough amount of time. She's not returning client phone calls in a quick fashion. She is lagging on fulfilling. If she did orders, she had a few products. She did have a few products, and she was lagging on fulfilling orders for those products. Okay, so how do I've cross-checked the financial. My stress coming from my business is not from the pure financials of it. The stress coming from my business has to do with, maybe it has to do with systems, next level. Systems are, how often do you see your clients, or maintenance, how do you maintenance those clients? So let me try to break this down as concretely as possible, because everybody's business is different. If you're in a service-minded business, then, or product-minded business, there is you delivering to the customer. So there's a delivering system to the customer. Whether you're delivering them sessions, as in your time, or whether you are delivering them a product, that's literally a distribution system, i.e. it goes from my warehouse to their front doorstep. Okay? So look at your delivery system. Is that working well? Okay? That's one system to look at. The second system to look at is your customer's support system. When a client calls me, they need something from me, or a client emails me, they need a response from me. Am I responding to them, or is my business responding to them in a timely fashion? What's a timely fashion? A timely fashion is like 24 hours to 48 hours. That's it, not including weekends, obviously, because most people don't work on weekends. But 24 to 48 hours, you want to have a response to that inquiry or to that question. It may or may not be the answer, but at least something that goes back out to them that says, yes, I have received this, I acknowledge it, it's going to be worked on. That's 24 to 48 hours. It's a level of customer service. Okay? So there's another way, and maybe even another piece inside of there is, can they talk to a live person after 24 to 48 hours? Because maybe that's your type of service in your business, right? Maybe it's emails back and forth. Maybe that's fine for servicing your customers in your business. Maybe it needs to be them talking to a live person in 24 to 48 hours. Maybe that's your level of customer service in your business. Okay? So your delivery system to your clients, your customer support system, once they've bought something and they've called you or they're trying to have a question in relationship to it. That's okay. 2 levels to check for stress on the systems level inside of your business. The third level has to do with the actual back office of the business. It might be something, if you're delivering a product, it would be inventory control. Okay? Inventory control would be literally how much of it do I have sitting on the shelves, or my capacity to know how well I can get it out the door, how quick I can get it out the door. But control of the inventory showing up in a timely fashion so that I can deliver it to my client in a timely fashion. Okay? Inventory control. Or is it accounting? Your business might actually be in a crisis because your accounting is so far behind that although you're billing for enough business to cover your expenses, you're not receiving enough income off of your invoicing in a timely fashion to cover the expenses. Okay? So your billing and your accounting system and all of that might be off. So there's 4 systems you can check. Delivery to your client, customer support to, just answering the client, the actual controlling inventory and the capacity to have deliverables, right, to your client, and then there's accounting. One other area where your business might be receiving a lot of stress is specifically in your marketing, your promoting of your business. You always want to be promoting your business. There are 2 things in my mind that will always kill a business. One is your bottom line doesn't work. right? Something's not working on the bottom line. You're not making money. 2 is you're not marketing the business, which means there's going to be very little opportunity for ongoing sustainable growth in your business. So, 5 areas to check in your business that might be creating stress. If it isn't your finances, and if it isn't in the systems, then it could be in you. You might have a way of relating to your business or to the process of being in business from a position of stress. You might go, I only know how to operate from a position of stress. I only know how to move forward if I'm experiencing a sense of stress. And this might be just really having to do with you and, how do I put this? The answer is that you and your time management system is where you handle this type of stress. But I mean time management as in your personal workflow management system. There are systems within the business, like a really good example is how you deliver a product to a customer is you put the product in a box, you tape the box shut, you hand it over to the mail person, whoever you use to mail it, and it gets mailed to your client. That's a really simple, straightforward delivery system. Okay? That's not a time management system. So I want to distinguish out between the two. There's the time of delivering a product. There's the systems within the business itself. And then there's your time management system, which is separate from the systems of the business. And I know it might be hard. I think, personally, I think it's hard as a small business owner to actually be able to distinguish out the systems of the business separate from your systems. Because so often, as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, who we are and how we do something is what the systems are in the business. But I think my ongoing challenge, my ongoing suggestion to you specifically is, can you distinguish yourself out and your being from your business? Can you see your business as a separate entity from you? Be able to analyze it, judge it, relate to it, refer to it as separate from you. If you can do that, you'll be much more able to solve when you are having a stress in the system. You'll be much more able to be in the position, in your thinking, in your mindset of solving a problem. And you are much less likely or set up for having a sense of personal failure in relationship to the business. And that's huge. That, to me, is the reoccurring difficulty as a small business owner, is our sense of personal responsibility and personal failure in relationship to the business. If it's failing, it must be me. Now, I understand. And I agree that as a small business owner, especially if it is just you, that you are the only one who can solve the problem. But sometimes it really isn't you. And if you always take responsibility for yourself, in yourself, for everything that fails in the business, you will be stressed. You will be stressed almost all the time. And you may not feel like you have the capacity to solve what the problem is, because you've taken it internally so personally that you've already deteriorated out of you the peace in you that would have the bravery, the time, the faith, and the belief to solve the problem. Does it make sense? So, the power of being able to distinguish out your business from yourself is huge. And therefore, my conversation about personal stress. There are times when your systems aren't working. Okay, let's see if I can distinguish this out, because it can be tricky sometimes. Customer response. All right, that is a perfect merging point between the systems in the business and the systems of yourself. Okay, customer response. You get an email in, right? And it's supposed to be responded to 24 to 48 hours. That's what Christina says, right? That's what I said, 24 to 48 hours. Now, if the email comes in and you get the emails on your computer only, right? Then you have to wait until you're in front of your computer to reply. That's a system. I only get them on my computer. I have to wait until I'm in front of my computer to reply. You could say that that's a business system. I have one business computer, and therefore I only answer my emails on that computer. So I can only answer emails on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings, let's say. So if I get an email on Friday, I can't answer it because I'm not in the office on Friday. Or if I get the email on Wednesday, I can't answer it because I was in a conference on Wednesday. That's a business system. Let's talk about your personal time management system. If you don't show up into the office on Wednesday, right, and you don't take care of the emails on Thursday morning to account for Wednesday, that might be a personal time management system. You knew you were out of the office on Wednesday. You need to compensate for that inside of you. You need to adjust what you normally do in relationship to your business. You need to adjust answering it so that Thursday morning you're answering emails. Or you need to adjust so that Wednesday, if you're at conference all day on Wednesday, trying to get it out. If you're in a conference all day on Wednesday, that Thursday morning you're not home with your kids and not responding to emails. You see how you're responsible for that time management versus the systems in your business are, I answer all my emails at my work computer and only at my work computer, and I'm only at my work computer on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings. Okay? We can adjust either system. You know, when you work with your systems, you can adjust either system. You can adjust the system that is, how often do I answer my emails in relationship to the system of my business, or you can adjust your time management system, which is my capacity to shift when I do my emails.